Well, let me let me start off by saying how disappointed we are with how we played the second half of that second half. I mean, you go up 19 like we did, and you have an ability to sort of make a team quit, and you don't make the plays you need to make, and that's what happened in this game. And you look at our production in the second half. I mean, you know, three of our top guys, 2 for 12, 4 for 15, and 3 for 13 on stuff that I think that they normally would make. So we were ripe for the picking, and you know, Towson, my hat's off to them. They played a great game in that second half, and just they muscled their way back into this game. So, and another thing I want to point out, it's fantastic turnout for a game where the football team is going to be on TV. So I really appreciate Beaver Nation, and just want to say we'll get them next time. With that, I'll open it up for questions.
You mentioned they kind of out-muscled you. 2 offensive rebounds in the first half. They ended up with 15. Is that just a matter of effort on your guys' part?
You know, I'd have to take a look at the film, but I don't think Curtis says it's an effort thing. I just think it's a focus thing. I think we took that part of the game for granted because we did such a good job in the first half. And I have to do a better job in making sure that these guys stay motivated throughout the entire game, so that doesn't happen. But you know, I think if you are concentrating on your job at hand, there shouldn't be a lapse in there shouldn't be a lapse in effort or motivation or whatever. I think they just outplayed us, and we were getting to a point, I think, too, that we were getting to be a little bit complacent about just showing up at Gill and winning games. So this was a good comeuppance for us prior to Pac-12 play.
What do you think were some of the factors that contributed to shooting 7 of 30 in that second?
You know, I think that those guys got a little bit more physical, so that we had to make tougher shots. I thought that once they started making a little bit of a run, we took some ill-advised shots. And then we just missed shots like you do sometimes. And we could have been thinking ahead to the next game, thinking ahead to the Pac-12 season, thinking ahead to signing autographs and watching the football game and having fun. You never know what goes through each individual's mind. But any way you shake it out, we didn't play well in that stretch and gave them confidence, and they felt like they could win the game, and they just took it from us.
Not necessarily looking for learning lessons right now, so close to conference play, but you'll probably be able to find some out of this.
Yeah. You know, if you looked at our stats and said that you look at that first half, you would never think that we would only shoot 23% in the second half. I mean, that's one of those things that you can point to and say, okay, that's not going to happen most of the time. That hasn't happened to us in a long time. So you are glad that something like that might happen before you get to the conference. I'm also pointing out to these guys that this is exactly what you can't do when you get into conference play. So that's a teaching point there. And then, you know, when you are changing a culture or having changed a culture here where now we think we should win every game, you have to remember you got to go out and win every game. You can't just think it and then expect the other team to lay down. And that's particularly the case when it comes to conference play.
Eric said that one thing that they need to work on moving forward is you know, tightening up defense. What do they, in your opinion, or how you see it, what do they need to do?
Yeah, I think that I have been very adamant that we have to play better defense. But when I look at the tape and I look at our stats, our defense is a whole lot better than it was a year ago. And I'm trying to keep a nice balance where they understand we still have work to do, but they have to understand that they have come a long way so that they build up confidence in their defensive ability. I mean, you know, last year, I think we held teams to under 40% shooting 5 times for the whole year. This might be the 6th time we've done it. And this is the 7th time this year we've done it. So this is the 7th time this year we've done it, and we're only halfway through the season. And this is one of the, this one's bitter because we lost the game. Had nothing to do with, I think our defense was actually pretty good. It was the rebounding. I mean, them getting their second chance points. I mean, you look at 15 second chance points, that's a lot for us. We've been doing a really good job on the boards this year, and this was just hopefully an anomaly.
Seemed like Roberto kind of pushed off there at the end, but you kind of looked upset too.
You know, that's one of those that you maybe, one would think that you would not get that called on you in your own home gym, but that wasn't the case. So I was disappointed because I've seen that there was a lot of contact going on in that game for the whole and for the whole first and second half, and it got called differently. But you know, I'm not blaming the refs for it. We shouldn't have been in that position. But I thought it was a heck of a play, and it's too bad.
Were you kind of surprised by your team's lack of focus this close to Pac-12?
Now, you know, I could feel it coming on, Phil. You know, we were winning. You know, we haven't won this many games since I've been here. And again, I tell you guys all the time, everything is learned behavior. And we're still learning. I mean, we hadn't had a 5-game win streak since I'd been here, so that means these guys hadn't. And you have to understand, you don't have to, they have to understand that as you get better, the next games get harder, not easier. That's one thing that young adults don't understand, that life gets harder as you go on and are successful. It doesn't get easier. There are more things that come along with success that you have to deal with. So I'm hoping that they learn that lesson.
In a physical game like this, how much does Ahmad's size kind of hurt you guys?
You know, normally it doesn't because he's one tough little son of a gun, but you know, he's been playing under a dark cloud. You know, he wasn't feeling well a few games back, and it's sort of lingered over into his playing. He feels better now, but he's not playing well. And I have to do a better job of getting him out of it. But I don't think that his size has anything to do with how big his heart is. I think that he's been able to play against guys a lot. He's been able to play against pros and do a good job against them. So, no, I just think he's just been playing under a black cloud. That it? All right, go Beavers football.